Good morning. It's a little after 9 a.m. on the east coast of Florida. This is part 2 of the really important breaking news this morning. Please go back and look at part 1. It is very important, and there's some important messaging in there. So where we left off is that Elon Musk is now threatening to fire federal employees who leak information as he and Trump are unleashing unprecedented chaos on the government. On Sunday, a user posted an anonymous operational security reminder on Reddit's FBI forum with advice for sharing information so it can't be traced back to the source. This post claimed that Musk's staffers are using, quote, fingerprinting on emails and notices as a way of identifying, quote, information leakers. Now remember, leaks were a huge issue in Trump's first administration, and it drove him crazy, and it is that way with Musk as well. And again, go back to part 1 because I really go into detail about Jasmine Crockett speaking out about how Republicans feel about what he is doing, and also about his utter failure in bringing the Twitter X platform to be a moneymaker. It is a huge loss, and this is the guy that is wanting to be efficient and be in charge of the purse strings. Anyway, apparently this is essentially an email watermark, adding a space here, making a typo there, and similar subtle changes to track leaks, the post read. Musk later then replied to someone sharing that Reddit post on X, and he said, quote, with regards to leakers, if in doubt, they are out, says the world's richest man. The Daily Beast then contacted the White House for comment. There has been no comment yet. And remember, after spending more than $250 million on Trump's re-election effort, Musk was put in charge of the fake department DOGE, which was supposed to be an advisory. But that is not what is happening. Trump is now saying he is tasking DOGE with radically cutting federal spending. This was supposed to be an advisory, not where he actually is able to do it. But now he is. And his comments come as Trump has plunged also the FBI into chaos by targeting officials linked to investigations into the attack on the Capitol in the insurrection on January 6, 2021. So again, more of the retribution. And at a time right now where the world is in this chaos and shock and awe, and all of the issues going on in the Middle East, in Ukraine, we've still got North Korea, and we are now insulting our allies and border allies there with Canada and Mexico. And apparently that's also going to include the EU, because Trump also said he may put tariffs on the EU. That's not a time that you want to have chaos in the FBI. We already have chaos in TSA and things like that, and that is not good. So again, this fake department is now purging the civil service by trying to get everyone to resign. Who's replacing them? So again, he's trying to say it's more efficient by getting rid of everybody and operating, on some type of little, shoestring budget. But let's remember something. While the federal government always has problems with being bloated, red tape, you name it, like everything in life, the corrections always go to extreme. And you are talking about two men who have done so much damage financially. Trump with his own family fortune, with the casinos, with everything. Musk with Twitter and even Tesla. But Musk has so much money and influence that it doesn't matter. He actually can just keep making money, and Trump is now just the king of the grifters, so it doesn't matter for him either. And everyone thinks they are successful and brainiacs at this type of thing, but they are not. Now already, there have been several lawsuits that are alleging that DOGE has violated the FAC Act, the Federal Advisory Committee Act, and that's a law that governs outside advisory panels. But again, where is the teeth in this? This should be the hair on fire, immediate action. You can't wait until it's all done and it's too late. The Federal Whistleblower Protection Act protects federal employees who disclose rule-breaking, legal violations, gross mismanagement, abuse of authority, and substantial and specific dangers to public health or safety. And apparently, as long as the information isn't classified, a disclosure can be made to anyone, even a non-governmental audience, according to the FTC. Meaning, one man's leak could be another man's whistleblowing. Now, Jamie Raskin is trying to sound the alarm as other Democrats, and he said this is, quote, a very dangerous moment. But again, I think we are all trying to say, stop with the pearl clutching, stop with the, talking about all this. We need action, and we need to insist on that. So again, I always advise everyone, be as safe as you can, take care of your mental health, your physical safety, but you need to make sure that you are following everyone, getting this word out on all of these platforms, but also writing to everyone, saying that you are not going to stand for this. If you need to join a lawsuit, do so. Also, be careful where your dollars are spent. That is one of the biggest powers that you have. You need to watch for all of these lists of who we need to be, following and spending our money with, and not the others, because that's the way that we can really hit them where it hurts. The time is now. We cannot wait for someone to save us. Now, there was an interesting opinion piece in The Hill talking about why the Trump-Musk buyout offers, trying to, again, shrink the federal government, risks dumbing the government down, it is saying. So again, they are trying to offer a buyout of some 2 million federal workers. And those who accept it are being told they'll get paid for 8 months. However, we saw how that went when Musk did that with Twitter. It didn't go well. Now, corporate downsizing was all the rage among Fortune 500 corporations in the 1990s. Grand promises were made to shareholders that significant efficiencies could be achieved with a smaller workforce. We see this all the time. Doge and Musk and what he did with Twitter and what they're all trying to do, this is not original. This isn't new. It's been done before and it failed. So these efficiencies to be realized in downsizing a workforce is appealing in theory, but they often do prove to be elusive in practice and harmful. First of all, when you try to buy out workers, that can run into a legal quagmire if your least productive workers are disproportionately non-white. Employment discrimination lawsuits are time-consuming and notoriously costly to litigate. And the fact that across the board downsizing became common practice in corporate America suggests that management did the math and determined that the benefits employers expected from the selective downsizing of low productivity workers, which is exactly what Elon and Doge is saying this time, that they thought that outweighed the expected litigation costs. And this explains why employers are seeking to downsize frequently across the board. The problem is that they're likely to be accepted by the highest productivity workers because all those workers will have the most lucrative outside opportunities. That's the important part there. Everybody needs to shout that to the rooftops. We used to talk about this. You are not going to lose necessarily or be bought out by the A and B people, by the C and D people. The A and B workers, they're the ones that are going to go, okay, because they can get another job. So you are going to retain the least productive, the not best and finest people that Trump keeps talking about. In contrast, the lowest productivity workers are likely to have few, if any, outside opportunities. History teaches us that running the government is different than running a business, that a downsized workforce is not synonymous with more efficient workplace. And in places like air traffic controllers or, researchers, any of these very important positions, or, like the WHO about, where we are finding out about diseases, all of that, is that where we really want to be shrinking it down and having the fewest people? I don't think so. And remember, we already have a shrinking workforce because of the boomers and Gen X. They are retiring and frankly unaliving out. People are not having children. And now we are also getting rid of the workforce in these deportations. Go to part 3. This is important.